everyone. We will be starting in a few minutes. They're just loading the presentations and getting some of the other technical stuff done. So please bear with us. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for attending the 7th Africa Earth Observation Challenge pitching event. We are going to be starting very soon with some of the pitches, but just maybe to also welcome the judges for today's event. Cameron from Esri, Phoebe from RCMRD, Davis from Rees, Farah from Digital Earth Africa, and Martin from Seidels. I'd also like to thank the participants who have come from across the continent to this pitching event. As I indicated, this is the 7th Africa Earth Observation Challenge. The challenge had humble beginnings in South Africa. We started off in 2016 as a national challenge and have grown over the last 7 years to a continental-wide challenge where we've had participants from 24 countries entering the challenge, 60 submissions, and the finalists are from 9 different countries, the 10 finalists from 9 different countries. The aims of the challenge, very simply, to be able to stimulate the development of the startup sector on the continent in the space industry, to raise awareness of the benefits of the space industry and the opportunities that there are in the space industry, and to foster collaborations between startups, industry, space agencies across the continent itself. The 10 companies here represent a revolution, I think, in the space industry globally and on the continent. Over the last few years, there have been very important private sector players coming into the space industry, changing the dominance of the public sector. And this is an opportunity also for the continent to be able to leverage as well. My name is Imran Saluji. I'm from Rees, and I'm going to be your MC for today. Not to take too many minutes away from the companies themselves and their pitches, just to give you a little bit of a rundown, we're going to have the 10 pitches coming up. Each pitch is going to be 4 minutes long with 4 minutes questions from the judges. We will be starting with Todd Ayres from Togo. If you could come up and please do your pitch. This is Manuel Ntumba from Todd Ayres. A warm round of applause for him, please. Thank you.
Excuse me, do you have okay, thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Manuel Ntumba, and I'm currently serving as the African Union Youth Advisor on Disaster Risk Reduction, and I'm the founder of Todd Ayres Global Network. So with my team from Todd Ayres, we developed the GeoRT, Geospatial Database Risk Optimization Tools for multi-sectoral risk governance to support the African Union program on risk governance, a program co-financed with the European Union and the European Development Fund. So we have 4 key products. The first is the GeoRT Gov for government, the GeoRT Corp for corporates, the GeoRT iNexus for communities, and the GeoRT app, the mobile version. So for 5 years, from 2017 to 2022, we conducted several researches that led to an invention that was patented with the Indian Patent Office under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry of India. And our research, some of our research got also featured on the NASA Harvard Astrophysics Data System. It's ADS, a very prestigious research platform in the sector. In terms of IP rights, we have IP rights both on the software and the hardware. Our working principle goes with two sides. So we have the data collection and the data integration. In terms of data collection, the data collected from the satellites are integrated into a database for real-time multi-sectoral risk prediction. And then for data integration, once we collect those data, we train them with AI models. So what sort of AI models do we use? We use optical neural networks and quantum neural networks. So we use quantum computing platforms to train the models for real-time risk prediction. For the case studies, the first image is showing the African Union Situation Room for multi-hazard early warning systems, where we monitor and we predict all sorts of risks, going from climate risk, disaster risk, and also geopolitical risks. And with our partner Airbus, we are able to use the satellite data from the latest Airbus satellites called Pléiades Neo. And then we implement it in the different sectors. We also work with different UN agencies, and we are the only African institution part of the consortium on Earth observation and geospatial information of Erasmus Plus Sector Skills Alliance of the European Union. So in terms of our target market, as I said, we go with B2G and B2B, so business to government and business to business. We are planning to add B2C later on. So for the market share, our affiliation with the African Union allows us to secure the market in terms of the B2G, business to government. And our investment ask is just 50K, 50,000 USD, because we need to develop our decentralized infrastructure, allowing us to provide more privacy to each of our clients. So in our team, we have a very nice team, and our chairman is His Excellency Prayut Trabinsky, the former IMF Executive Director. And we have more interesting profiles in our team. You can visit our website to learn more about them. And along the way, we got featured across the world on some of the most prestigious media like Forbes, BBC News, Geospatial World, and TED as well. And with Geospatial World, we were featured as among the top 50 rising stars, alongside some NASA researchers and from ESA and from MIT as well. So yeah, to finish, I'm Manuel Ntumba. If you have more questions, feel free to reach out. You can also check my Wikipedia page. It's available in French and in English to learn more about what we've done so far. You just need to Google Manuel Ntumba and then you will see it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think he deserves a very warm round of applause. Over to the judges.
Manuel, thank you very much for your presentation. Can you take us through your revenue model, please?
Okay, sure. So, okay, I will just go with it. So in my presentation, as I showed, we focus more on the B2G and the B2B. So with the B2G, business to governments, we are able to work directly with the governments because the governments have funding for each sector. So whenever they are looking for the use of geospatial data for their spatial data infrastructure, so they call us and we provide them the consulting services in terms of advisory or consulting contract, and we work with them directly like that.
I think what I'd like to find out is how you're expecting to generate an income from this business. What is that cost model that you're looking at?
Yeah, so in terms of the cost model, so whenever those consulting contracts come from the procurement, and then as soon as we have those procurements, we go on the field and we provide them with those services directly, and then they pay us. So Sometimes it comes from those governments directly, sometimes from the intergovernmental organizations like UNGRR or the African Union and the other key partners that we have. But mostly it comes from our first clients are the governments, and then the B2B. B2B are more for the businesses, like we are working with Airbus, providing them consulting in terms of strategic communication and government relations. So that's also the other side of our business. But for B2C, our GeoArt RT app would help us to also reach out directly to the communities and to have more B2C clients, but that's for later on, because for now we are focusing on the government and the big companies.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so my question is towards the request for investment. You're asking for money to support privacy of client data. Why are you willing to take this risk as opposed to transferring that cost to the actual clients?
Okay, so what happens is when you work with governments, they don't want their data to be in the same database as the other governments and the other clients. So they are raising a lot of concerns in terms of data privacy and secrecy. So they want to be, in terms of sovereignty, to say that they have this infrastructure at their own place. So for that, we need to decentralize our infrastructure and to be able to provide those services to each client for them to have their own infrastructure in their self-served automated platform available in each country. So that's why we needed this investment ask. This is why we are raising this fund to integrate it. And it's just 50K because, moving forward, we will be working with those governments that will be providing us with the funding as well. So we just need the 50K to develop the decentralized platform instead of the integrated and interconnected platform that we have right now.
Thank you for that, Manuel. It was very interesting. I have one or two questions. So I think it's very good that you are considering IP, intellectual property. You managed that you have IP in the hardware and the software. Can you elaborate around that? What have you looked at, and have you looked at protecting the different features of the system that you're developing?
Yes, so for the patents that we have with India, so one section is for the claims. We have up to 7 claims. And in those 7 claims, some of the claims are protecting the software part of our technology, and some of the parts are protecting the hardware. So yeah, those are well secured with India. So maybe in the future, we would look at protecting it internationally. Thank you.
Okay, that's very good to hear. And then my other question is, because as you say, it's good to look at patents. It's also good to look at things like registered designs. And as you might know, it's country specific. So for each country where you want protection, you need to look at that. And then you talked about your partner Airbus and that you're using some of their data. Are there contracts in place towards, who will own the rights eventually in the commercial products that you roll out?
Okay, so yes, we have a contract with Airbus, allowing us in terms of government relations and communication, but also in terms of data. So whenever we bring a contract, there is a discussion on case-to-case basis in terms of the government we are providing the service to. Yes. Thank you so much.
Next up, we have Wassam Faiz from Geosport from Egypt. Wassam?
I need them. Where? From next?
Back next.
Okay. Hi, my name is Wissam from Geosport. Geosport utilize Earth observation technology to enhance safety issues in cycling sports. We need to help our beautiful Earth to breathe. So choosing a bike over a car can reduce like 67% of a carbon dioxide emission. Africa could prevent 880,000 deaths per year by taking action on the climate change and air pollution. So, during our research, we figured these problems: safety problem, pollution problem, poor road and networking, and also traffic problem. What we're looking for? We're looking for a good health and well-being, and also sustainable cities and communities, and a global partnerships. Our goals are improving safety, reducing number of accidents and carbon emission, increasing participation, and improve infrastructure and planning. This is our JSport application. We're focusing on cycling sport at this stage, and we will in the future we will improve also on other sports like hiking, mountain biking, and also running. So our key feature at the JSport application was the message alert system, and we're also providing weather information and online shopping. What's our next step? We will develop our website, JSport website, and we will implement our online courses development, and we implement the remote sensing technology by making a satellite analysis and producing a digital terrain model. And also we will focus on our marketing and branding. JSport was incubated at the Egyptian National Remote Sensing Authority, and we have a total fund for $7,000, and we divided the fund in a development and marketing and a mentorship. So what we need a financial support, a marketing support, technical support, data purchasing, and cloud service, and also mentorship. So what we're asking for $40,000. We will divide the fund into data purchasing, online courses, development, and cloud service, and mentorship. So this is our team. It's me, Wissam Faiz, founder and CEO, experienced 10 years in remote sensing and GIS, and Asma Kamal, my partner, is a marketing manager. She was 5 years experienced in marketing. Ahmad Oud, the technical team leader, who's 10 years experienced in remote sensing and GIS, and Ahmed Salama, a senior developer, have a 10 years experience in development. So we really believe in JSport that your safety is our top priority. Please contact us. This is our contacts and our emails and our location in Cairo, Egypt. Thank you.
Hi, thank you very much. So, Azim, I understand you're at the early stage of the business.
Yes, yes.
And that's great. You know, all businesses have to start with an idea.
Yes.
So I have two questions. The first is, why is this an important problem for you to solve? Like, why are you passionate about solving this issue related to cycling and sports? What does it mean for you?
From my side, I love cycling so much, and I was practicing somehow long ago. So, and my friends was a cyclist, and I know their problems. So I figured that maybe we will help them to have a safety life or a brighter life of the cycling and hiking and running and maybe diving in the future.
Okay, thank you. And then the second question is, what are the ideas that you have in applying remote sensing satellite imagery to make a difference to a cyclist? Like, how do you apply this technology?
Okay. First, I am a surveying engineer, so the precise is a very important thing for me. I think that we have a precise satellite image, and we can generate from it a digital terrain model, so we can precisely can measure the slope and the elevation, so we can on the future we will make we will embedded biking mountain biking and hiking. That this slopes is very important for them. Yes, but in a precise way.
Yeah.
Okay, just not just a picture, just in a precise way.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. So your ask is $20,000.
Yes.
And I see that you have a various number of activities or milestones you want to achieve in the
Yes.
next year.
Yes.
Being a concept business at this stage.
Yes.
Can you tell us, I mean, that's a small ask because there's a lot to do. What is your focus going to be in the next year to grow this from a concept into the next phase of
Our
growth?
website and online courses. Yes, I wanted to start with online courses in the field of sports, like first aid, nutrition, maintenance, tips and tricks concerning all that sports.
So then in terms of the actual development around the app, is that been completed? And
No,
how's that?
we are now in the process of developing. We're not finished yet.
Okay, so more or less the funds will be used for marketing, is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Please help me understand what I'm likely to get from your app, because it's still not straightforward. When I get to join, what is the value for me, and what kind of trainings do you see yourself offering?
Okay, we're now focusing on a cycling sports. So we can have a message alert system which during the sports trip, if anybody went out of the road, so the message can be automatically sent it to the other group. We have a group connection on the this app, so we can create a group connection. All the group was monitoring each other on the road, and also we can monitor the weather direction, humidity, temperature, and wind direction. This is all that we add value at this stage.
Hi there. That was cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just two questions from my side. So obviously the remote sensing you did answer. Have you accounted for big data onto a small device? And how you're going to package that data and optimize it for a device?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then the second one is the cloud service. So you said you're going to do hosting on the cloud.
Yes.
Do you have a cloud engineer? Do you have a cloud
Yes.
architect?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation,
Thank
Wissam.
you.
It's very exciting. My question relates to your product that you will be selling. So do I understand correctly? It's an app that you'll be selling to sports people, whether they're hikers or cyclists, and
Yes.
then they can use it to check out the conditions and to track them and that sort of thing. So, to my mind, it seems that from an intellectual property perspective, your trademark would be something important, or your brand. Have you looked at that, and do you think you'll protect the name of your product?
No, no, we don't. At this stage, we're focusing on the development. We just not finished the development, so we are processing.
Okay, no, that's perfectly fine. So I think because you're still early on, you still have time for that. So I think I would definitely make a note of thinking about that going forward, and thinking about your name of your product, because it can distinguish yourself in the
that
market.
field.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I'll put in mind.
Thank you, Wissam.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Rousing applause for Wissam. Thank you. One of the things we tried to do this year within the Earth Relation Challenge is to reach out to different geographical regions and different language regions on the continent as well. The next pitch is going to be from a company called Suncross. Walter is from the DRC. Unfortunately, he was unable to make it to the session today, but we were able to get a video from him. The judges have also provided questions that were posed to him, and we've translated it back from French into English. His responses to those are going to then be provided in English to the judges a little bit later on when they're doing their evaluations. So if we could maybe then get the Walter's video up from Syncross.
Bonjour, je réponds au nom de Mbonimwami Walter. Je suis le CEO de Syncross. Syncross est une entreprise technologique dédiée et spécialisée à l'utilisation professionnelle des drones civils dans les secteurs environnementaux. Le 6 mai 2021, vers 19h, les ciels de la ville de Goma sont devenus rouges. Une panique totale dans la ville. Plus d'1 million de personnes fouillaient la ville. C'est à 3 h du matin que l'OVG, Observatoire volcanique de Goma, déclara que le volcan Nyiragongo était en éruption. De nombreuses catastrophes naturelles se produisent chaque année de cette manière. Le plus grand problème est que l'environnement n'est pas suffisamment protégé. Notre solution consiste à la prévention et suivi des problèmes environnementaux par des drones intelligents qui surveillent les événements météorologiques. Les drones effectuent des analyses de l'air, des sols, bâtiments et terrains à l'aide des caméras de télédétection qui collectent des tonnes d'informations sur la Terre. Les capteurs multispectraux alimentés d'un logiciel IA identifient les différences dans la composition d'une zone. Les drones surveillent les aléas et des activités phoniques et calculent des taux de perte pour créer une carte GIS. Ainsi, des mesures de prévention sont prises avant que les dommages ne soient causés. Notre marché présente une évolution de plus de 15 000 entreprises, organisations et ONG et plus de 15 millions de particuliers. GDTech, BD Holding et Moka Solutions SARL sont nos 3 principaux concurrents. Notre avantage concurrentiel est que nous intégrons des drones autonomes basés sur IA et machine learning, intégrant une technologie LIDAR. Notre business model repose sur 3 services, dont l'imagerie aérienne par drone, qui vaut $45 par hectare, inspection aérienne par drone, $65,7 par hectare, et la surveillance aérienne par drone pour $20 par heure. Ce tableau présente l'évolution financière future de notre entreprise sur les 4 prochaines années. Comme vous pouvez le voir, en première année, nous pouvons atteindre une clientèle de 864 000 qui générera un chiffre d'affaires de $227 200. Et pour la 4e année, une clientèle de 3 456 000 pour un chiffre d'affaires de $723 000. En 2021, Syncross était au niveau de la recherche et développement et avons produit le premier prototype. En 2022, nous avons fait les tests de marché et produit les MVP. Nous avons connu un accélérateur et un fond d'amorçage de la part d'MPME. Orange Kona et UPG Viachara nous ont accompagnés comme accélérateurs. En 2023, nous avons formalisé l'entreprise et attendons le financement de la FEC. Pour la première année, nous comptons rechercher des partenaires financiers et diversifier nos partenariats avec les sociétés locales et internationales. Pour la 2e année, nous intégrerons de nouveaux services et nouvelles clientèles et nous étendrons des sous-traitances dans différentes provinces. Pour la 3e année, nous lancerons une technologie climatique d'absorption de CO2 et investirons dans la recherche et la restauration environnementale. Un investissement de $150 000 nous permettra le développement technique, le marketing, les fonds de roulement et le développement commercial. Mbonimwami Ketia Walter, fondateur et CEO. Umugoli Miete, cofondatrice et directrice marketing et communication. Mbonimwami Josalex, cofondateur et CTO. Ndakola Mungo Jano, expert phytotechnicien et environnemental. Nous intégrons 4 objectifs de développement durable. Premièrement, le zéro faim. Deuxièmement, la croissance économique et le travail décent. Troisièmement, les changements climatiques. Et enfin, les villes et communautés durables. Nous vous disons merci.
Are we ready with the questions? The questions were posed by the judges earlier on today, and we've got them translated into French.
Hi everyone. So the first question is from Judge Farah Naidu, and it's around the client. So the entrepreneur indicates a client reach of 864,000 customers in the first year. Can he provide some insights into his marketing strategy to gain these numbers? La question à vous, Monsieur Walter, est dans votre présentation, vous mentionnez acquérir 864 clients dans votre première année. Et le juge voudrait savoir quelle est votre stratégie de marketing pour atteindre cet objectif. Merci.
Oui, bonjour, vous m'écoutez?
Oui.
Oui. Pour ce qui concerne le marketing et comment nous allons atteindre notre marché, nous comptons nous comptons lancer des activités avec un cycle promotionnel pour les clients, premièrement. Deuxièmement, nous comptons organiser des activités et des événements caritatifs. Nous allons inviter des parties prenantes et des acteurs industriels comme ça. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Walter. Vos réponses ont été capturées. Donc, je vais poser la question suivante. So the second question is from our judge, Martin, and it's around the new offerings which the organization is looking to build as it grows into year 2 and 3. I'm just inquiring whether he has looked at intellectual property around these new services and offerings that he would be developing. Donc, Monsieur Wattel, la deuxième question du juge Martin est la suivante. Dans vos projections, vous mentionnez le développement de nouvelles solutions et de nouveaux produits. Vous avez mentionné par exemple les technologies qui vont capturer le CO2. Donc, il voudrait savoir si vous avez de la propriété intellectuelle par rapport à ces nouveaux services que vous comptez développer dans le futur.
Pour le moment, nous n'avons pas encore les propriétés intellectuelles. Nous n'avons pas encore les propriétés intellectuelles pour cela, mais nous avons déjà, nous sommes en train de concevoir un prototype qui est déjà sur papier. Alors, si nous commençons, si nous voulons lancer ou si nous sommes prêts pour le lancement de cela, nous aurons à chercher une propriété intellectuelle. Mais c'est un projet fictif, donc on n'est pas trop exigeant ou bien trop rapide pour avoir les propriétés intellectuelles pour ça. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Walter, pour votre réponse. The last question is from our judge, Phoebe Odor. So, disasters need operational monitoring, and based on his pricing scheme, $45 per hectare seems far reach for many governments. How will this affect update and sustainability of his solution? Donc, la troisième question vient du juge Phoebe et elle concerne votre business model. Donc, vous proposez une solution par rapport aux surveillances opérationnelles et le coût est de $45 par hectare en ce qui concerne les drones. Et elle pense que ce coût semble être un peu élevé pour les gouvernements qui sont des clients potentiels pour vous. Et elle voudrait juste savoir si c'est comment vous envisagez rendre cette solution plus abordable et vous assurer que dans le futur, vous serez soutenable dans votre solution.
Oui, le business model que nous avons présenté, c'est juste qui a été essayé sur le prototype, donc c'est des essais sur le marché. Alors nous pouvons les modifier à tout moment et pour l'adapter aux besoins de la clientèle. Alors, ce n'est pas un business model qui est statique, nous pouvons les modifier à tout moment. Et en plus, pour le moment, nous sommes en train d'attaquer les ONG d'abord et les organisations qui œuvrent pour le moment dans la protection et la gestion environnementale. C'est là qui est pensé pour la suite, nous allons intégrer une nouvelle couche de clientèle. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Walter. C'était les 3 questions des juges. Mahin and Imran, back to
Merci.
you. Thank you. Merci.
Thank you very much, Louis, and thanks for still helping with that. The responses will be translated into English and provided to the judges as I indicated. Next up, we have Barkawi Mansour from Niger, a company called Drone Service.
Hello, I'm Dr. Barkawi Mansour from Drone Service Niger. We change farmers' life by using Earth observation data combined with artificial intelligence for sustainable agriculture. So what is the challenge? Niger's agriculture is facing a lack of accurate and timely agricultural data, following with traditional practice, wastage of resource, environmental degradation that leaves countries in food insecurity. So our solution aims to provide a real-time crops information directly to farmers by their mobile phones. So for this, it can be a crop health condition, what is about the real requirement of the crop, the wastage, the water requirement, the water stress of the crop, and what are the potential area affected by disease or pest, and also what is the potential yields of the crops. So how it works? We make precision agricultural data collection using satellite, drone, Internet of Things. Then we use artificial intelligence to make a processing of this data to generate a recommendation map. Then we use Genesis technology to accurate our data, and then this data can be shared to the farmers and also to the government. So this slide can show our products, and also this one, our mobile applications. So what is the market size? The total available market size is around $3.6 billion. And also the actually surveyed available market is around $1.2 billion. And the Drone Service Niger target market is around $2.4 billion. So we have actually 5 competitors, but Drone Service Niger differ from these competitors by using precision agricultural data collection using drone and Internet of Things, but also we use artificial intelligence and online service that make us different from our competitors. So our business model is built to be easy accessible for all farmers that in the 4 countries that we operate, giving them the opportunity to choose a service at low price. So Drone Service Niger moves forward with confidence. Actually, we make a gross revenue of $1.2 million, and also our future projection future projection is to make a revenue of $4.3 million. Actually, we contribute to food insecurity, to food increase year up to 20%. And we are also the market in other countries like Togo, Senegal, and also Morocco. We need investment because we want to invest in technological development, product development, and also teams and other market, and promote to expand in other countries. Our teams is made up by wonderful people that are passionate about this area and want to contribute to food security in the world. Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Bakawi. Thank you so much, and congrats. It's great to see that kind of traction and growth happening. I guess my two questions for you are, one, there are a number of countries in Africa where drones are tightly controlled from a security perspective. So I'd like to understand how you address that issue in terms of scaling, because there's a security aspect to drones. And the second one is, how do you see the opportunity to build a technology stack, including satellite data, on top of the UAV information that you're building? So how do you build a data stack around that?
So for the first question regarding drone using, for this it's just so easy. Some countries it's difficult, but we have just to submit authorization to fly, and then we can get this authorization that allow us to make our drone flying. And based on our experience, we have a lot of experience with the authorities in the 4 countries. So naturally, we get this drone fly permit. And the second question is about the area of our plot. So sometimes we have a big customer that have a big area. So for this case, we use satellite image. But sometimes we have also farmers that have only a small area that satellite cannot be, I can say, useful. So in this case, we use drone data to make data acquisition. Then to make, I can say, fastly data processing and also make I can say, a program. That is why we use artificial intelligence to generate automatically our deliverable for our customers.
Thank you very much for the presentation. So you seem quite established already in your business. You've got quite a market share already. I just want to understand, you're asking for funding to further develop your product. Can you just make me understand a little bit what further product development you are going to be doing?
So because, as I said previously, in our data materials acquisition, we use also Internet of Things. This Internet of Things is required, I can say, in a small area, we have to use some number of Internet of Things. So in this case, we need finance investment to develop this, this Internet of Things, to acquire, I can say, more sensor Internet of Things. And also, drone need maintenance. If you don't make a maintenance of this drone, it can be crash. So that is why we need product development and also technological development. Artificial intelligence grow as every day, every hours. So that is why we need investment to looking for, I can say, the technological way. What is the new technological? What is best than today?
Thank you, Dr. Barkawi. It's very interesting what you're busy with. I have 1 or 2 questions, mainly centered around intellectual property. So have you looked at perhaps protecting your brand or your name for the product that you'll be, because I see your company is called Drone Service. So you'll see that when you look at trademarks, it's often a good idea to have a brand that isn't necessarily connected to the goods and services that you're providing. Sorry, can you hear me?
I didn't understand you. So if you can repeat the question.
Yeah, so I was just asking about, have you looked at protecting your brand and because you can protect a trademark of, if you call your company a certain name, if you use the name Drone Service, it's actually tied to exactly what you're doing. So you'll see with trademarks, it's often a good idea to have something that's not directly connected with your goods and services. So have you thought about your trademarks maybe?
If I understand correctly your question for property intellectual,
Yes.
for this, since 2019, so we engaged a procedure in Nigerian authorities to get this property to preserve our business. And at this time, normally, since 2018, we get this certificate, this permit of certificate property intellectual. So actually, I can say that our process is already registered for this property intellectual.
Okay, that's good. And then the other question I have is, what will the end product be that you'll be selling? Will you be, developing the app and then asking people for licenses for that, or would you actually have a drone fleet and then you'll be selling the drones to farmers, that sort of thing, or will you operate the fleet and then charge a fee for that service?
So normally we sell the service of drone, not drone. Because farmers just need to know about information about their crops. The crops was affected by disease or not? Where is the located of this disease? Affected by pest or not? Where is the located? What is the requirement of the crop? They need fertilization, they need water. So our drone and satellite make us available to know about this information that these farmers don't have this information. And after we can processing the data and give them the only result that they want, not the drone and the others.
I understand. Yeah, that's very good. And do you also look at the data to basically diagnose that with AI to know whether the crops have been affected by a certain disease or something like that?
Yeah, for this, what are we doing? I can give you just for example, if we can take spectral signature of giving crops, we already know about this signature. So what are we doing with our artificial intelligence algorithms? We make a comparison between the correct signature spectral of the crops and the actually signature spectral signature. So if there is a problem, automatically the model can alert us there is some problem here. And we have to go in fields to make inspection, what is the problem, what is the kind of disease or pest, and so on.
Yeah, you can think about patents as well, but it's important to keep it a secret if you've invented something. But I think the other time. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Barkawi. Next up, we have Zarai from Egypt, Ahmed Maher.
Thank you. The remote. Okay. Hello. This is Ahmed Maher from Egypt. I'm representing Zarai today. I'm here for the sake of the farmers who's facing the Mother Nature anger every day. They facing weather, unpredictable weather. They are facing lack of water. They are facing diseases. And at any point of time, their crop can be spoiled and they don't know why. We build Zarai with passion, just like a platform as a service to serve the farmers worldwide, to have a service to monitor, manage, and have a risk mitigation service if something goes bad. So they have an insurance service. We do monitoring, management, it's farm to fork activity, and finally the insurance. Farmer not need to be a scientist to understand data came from satellite. He just need to draw where his land is and let our system do the magic for him. We tell him where he has an issue with the soil, where he has an issue with the water, where he has an issue with diseases. We told him how healthy his planet is. And if things goes bad, we bridge the gap between the farmer and the insurance companies. So farmer can make crop insurance. And we already signed an agreement with one of the greatest insurance companies, which is in Egypt, to provide this kind of service. And we also provide service for the insurance company by giving here a risk assessment according to the historical data of the farm. Our market size in Egypt, if I talk only in Egypt, I'm talking about 12 million acres, about 6 million landowner, more than 30,000 corporate working in agriculture. You can imagine how much the business potential in overall Africa. Our business model is easy. It's freemium model. We start with free service for small farmers that have less than 5 acres, and if they have more, and they get package of basic service, which is for monitoring, is only 25 cents. Okay, we are trusted by multiple multinational organizations, and we have a traction of 1,400 users now. It's working on our platform, more than 5,000 acres. Our plan, if we have enough fund to continue development in our product, so we turn our monthly income from 20,000 to 150,000 next year if we finalize our development. We ask for $2,550,000 to be paid for the development activity and marketing activity, and small part for the management and operation. We have a fabulous team, or are from international organizations that have a good experience, more than 20 years of experience in international sales and in innovation in remote sensing. And we have agriculture consultant and insurance consultant with us, and we are backed by a software company owned by me as one of founders. They are backing us without having overheads. It's not necessary for now to pay it. This is our website. Please visit us, try the application, and this is our contact. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. That was very interesting. I think I really like your business model in terms of giving it free to smaller farmers, and then that will help the system to grow. And then you sort of, do I understand correctly that if there are larger farmers, they'll pay on, based on how big their farm is? Is that how it will work? And then the larger their farm is, the more they would be charged, and that can work like a good business model for you. Is that right?
Yeah, we start with less than 5 acres, and if you have more, you will pay for the more acre. So he tests the platform itself if he like it.
Yes, that's excellent. And then I also wonder. So have you thought about protecting the name of your product and that sort of thing, because it's also important to distinguish yourself in the market?
We start the procedure, but not have the trademark yet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, I have 2 questions around the free, the ones who are getting the service for free, which they're really not exactly as small as you indicate, because majority of farmers are actually in that range. So does that mean that there's a lot of leakage in terms of revenue that you should have been getting? Then the second question is in relation to the Fork to Farm concept. Is there any market information you're providing to the farmers?
Thank you for your question. Regarding the first one, we make just 5 acres, just like a teaser. Farmers mainly, if we study the data in Egypt, we have 12 million acre and 6 million landowner. Means that the landowner have in average more than 5 acres. So if we come to our platform, we just testing it's just a teaser. What was the second question?
The second question is if you're providing any market information to the farmers.
Yes, we are working on that, and we will have our e-commerce platform to gather more information and connect farmer to other market. But we're still working on it.
Hi there. Very well done. Thank you. Just a few questions from my side. So you said the reporting is, well, the pricing model is based off of hectarage, so size of a farm, for example. Do you have a different pricing model for resolution of imagery? If I want more accurate results back from your platform, can I pay more for those requests on those tiles?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Second to that, in terms of reporting, can I request as many reports as I want once I've got my area of interest for my farm, or do I get charged per report?
No, it's a subscription just for the area, and
Okay.
you get frequent reports.
Okay. And then to switch the tables, as an insurer, can I subscribe to your platform to do research on a farmer? If someone comes for insurance, can I do some history research on that client?
Yes, because they're doing risk calculation, and they would like to price how much they will give him the policy. So they ask us first about the farm.
Okay.
And if something goes wrong, we have the historical data, so we give it to the insurance company so they can pay.
Awesome. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A round warm applause. Next up, we have Thierry Michel Changoli from Cosmolab from Benin. Can we give him a round of applause as well?
Thank you so much. You can see the presentation.
You need to give us access to it.
Apologies for that. There seems to be some technical issue with the presentation, so if I may call up the next person, Crispin Amondi from Kenya GeoDevOps.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Crispin Omondi. I'm the founder of GeoDevOps Limited, and I'm going to present to you an application used by farmers to monitor their crops using satellite imagery. So the project is named Farming Pro, and it focuses in helping farmers use their mobile phones to map their fields and be able to integrate it into a cloud platform whereby they are able to generate insights about their crops to monitor based on the crop health, soil condition, and weather patterns. So GeoDevOps Limited is a geotech venture in the house of mapping that develops location-based applications that enhance the integration and use of geodata, geotechnology, and earth observation to the community. And that's why we developed Farming Pro, to be able to help farmers find tools or geotechnical tools to map their fields, integrate into a cloud platform whereby they are able to generate insights that help them monitor their crops based on crop health, soil condition, and weather patterns. So the farming problems that we have are high cost of inputs, increase in drought, water shortage, low income, crop damage, and low crop yields. So you find that these problems are mostly caused by the unsustainable farming practices done by the farmers, climate change, and impulse decisions made by farmers based on their crops. So our solution is in-field crop monitoring, whereby the farmer has to map his own field, integrate it into the cloud, and be able to generate insights to be able to find to monitor his crops, so that you can find if there is any issues relating to the crop health or any cause that may damage the crops. So crop monitoring helps the farmer to save time, reduce costs, and also improve yields, and also enhance carbon sequestration. So our products include geomapping of farmlands for in-field crop monitoring, and we are focusing on farmer-led satellite insight initiative, whereby the farmer has to take the initiative of mapping his crops, his field, and integrate it into the cloud for satellite crop monitoring. So the farmer we have developed tools which we have put online. Farmer can easily access these tools and be able to follow simple instructions to map the spatial boundaries of their fields. So the farmer then, after mapping the field, he has to integrate it into the cloud platform to be able to...
Of getting the farmers to do the work.
Thank you.
Do you feel that it takes a lot of education for them to understand what to do? And how do you provide that education?
Okay, we have information on the website about how to map and monitor crops using satellite. And also we are focusing on doing much training of farmers and farmer trainers to be able to devolve this information to the farmers. So we need to take a lot of time to do the training so that the farmers can be able to get the idea on how to map their crops and use satellites to monitor their crop health condition.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. I think my fellow judges already covered the first question I was going to ask, because it is a bit concerning when you have to have farmers that have to input the data. So I think my second question is around the accessibility, because they have to have access to the online tool. Have you considered, farmers having access to internet connectivity and the infrastructure for that connectivity?
Okay, thank you for the question. You find that for you to access a website, you must have internet. So we're hoping that the farmers who is using this product has a smartphone to even access the information from the internet and also to map their fields. So basically, a farmer should have a smartphone and internet to use this product.
Thank you, Crispin. It was very interesting. I really like the idea that you can use color coding to show the different areas of the crop that's been affected. Will you provide that information to the farmer on an application that they download onto their phone? And if so, have you also thought about protecting your brand and that sort of thing? Have you looked at that as well?
Okay, thank you for the question. First, you find that for the farmer to generate insights about his crops, there must be color codes, which visualizes the distribution of a given parameter within the field. So color codes are very important, and it is our responsibility to train farmers to know how to read these color codes and be able to interpret them correctly. Yeah. Secondly, I'm looking forward to register the trademark of my company, Farming Pro, so that I be able to have the IP for the same.
Thank you very, very much for that. Next up is Sesinam Degadu from Snookode from Ghana. Sesinam?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Esnam. I'm here to present SNUCode, an addressing system for the rest of the world. So the problem we are trying to solve is this. How do you get an ambulance or Amazon to reach your house when your house doesn't have a name, or your street doesn't have a name, and your house doesn't have a number? That's the basic question we're trying to solve. Our solution is SNUCode. It gives you a 6-digit alphanumeric code for anywhere on Earth. It works offline. And it has, the addressing system is the first stage of, what's it called? The system. So you essentially have an addressing system, a way to optimize deliveries. So if you have 30 deliveries, we can optimize it so you are driving a shorter distance to do those deliveries. We beat DHL by almost 20% in trials in Accra. And for mom and pop operations, we are seeing improvements of about 120%. So these are the 4 layers of SNUCode. Location, route optimization, which comes built in, verification and integration into emerging and future technologies. So we've already integrated it into drones and driverless cars. And yeah, all of these things work offline. And I think that's a really important feature. So looking at just one industry, which is the logistics industry. The total logistics industry around the world is about $5.2 trillion. Africa's share by GDP, and there's an estimate, should be 154 billion. The last mile logistics, which is typically 54% of the cost of delivery, but because we're being conservative, we are keeping that 20%, will be about 30 billion. And so that leaves the addressable market at around 300 million if we are looking at 1% of that. We currently, and this is how we make money. I think that's what you're all here for. So we charge countries to build addressing systems for them. So an example is Liberia. Liberia is paying about $1.6 million for us to build them an addressing system. We've already executed on that contract, so we're waiting to get paid. It might be a long wait. And so that's about 32 cents per head of population. Now, as an aside, the cost of not having an address is about $9.40 per person per year in Africa. And we can get into that later on. Now, once you have, and this is a one-time cost, right? So the government pays for us to build the addressing system, and then we go on to help them monetize it. So, for example, before we had the Liberian contract, we would go to DHL, and DHL will say, hey, we don't know what the addressing system for Liberia is going to be in the future. We can't take that risk. As soon as we got the contract, they came to us. So you have to go to the government before everybody comes to you. Okay. So our competitive advantage is that our system works offline. It's built in Africa by Africans, and so the context of the technology really works well. It's easy to use, and we have a system that is built to require no infrastructure. So there are no central servers anywhere, and it's able to work offline. Our business model allows us to make money all along the customer acquisition process, and we are able to sell that data and gain insight from it and sell that insight as well. We've already received over $2 million in funding, and over 100K in grants and awards. We have 2 national clients with 3 on the way. Our projections, as you can see, what's it called? Government revenues will go down over time because that's a one-time cost. In the long term, about 87% of our revenue will come from the private sector. Yeah, so we are looking for $3 million to expand across for about 450 million Africans based on the total populations that we are looking at. It's a very diverse team of very talented and passionate people. And our products have made their way into so many things. So we've done things from ambulance services, election monitoring, sanitation. Yeah, so addresses find their way into all of these things, and these are some of the products that we've built so far. Thank you. Open for questions.
Hi.
Hello.
Very exciting stuff. So I have a question related to what you're doing about What 3 Words. Why hasn't What 3 Words been successful? And why would you be in this challenge?
I was hoping you were going to ask that question. So, interestingly, we were the first to try words, and this was back in 2007, thereabouts. And this is one of the advantages of working in Africa. So we built the system that used words, and we tried colors, and we tried animals and stuff like that. You just need a set of, what's it called, characters that you can go into the combinations, permutations of. The reason why What 3 Words doesn't work, or in our opinion, is that it requires a vocabulary of 20 to 40,000 words. And that's college level, right? And by being in Africa, we realized that all the people that you're relying on to convert an addressing system into economic or social value are at the bottom of the social, economic, and most importantly, educational pyramid. So they don't have the 20 to 40,000 word vocabulary. And it may seem easy to you and I because, we're educated and we can, at least in English, every word works, or we can understand most words in English. But once you shift it, it becomes difficult. So people actually have a visceral antipathy towards technology like that. The next thing is language. So, yeah, I may be able to use What 3 Words in Ghana because we speak English. As soon as I move across the border into Togo, it's almost as if I'm illiterate. And so that's also another problem. And, the bigger the data set, the more difficult the combinations, and so you cannot have small apps. And that's important. Our app is about 6 megabytes, and that's important when you are advertising, because you can advertise and people can download it in 30 seconds. You've got to go up. If it's 50 megabytes, it takes longer, and people give up with slow internet speeds. Yeah.
Hello, I have 3 questions. The first one is around accuracy in clusters.
Yeah.
How accurate is that? And also if the address changes as you move into higher buildings. Then the second one is around if the address is tied to a phone, does it mean that if that phone moves, then your address goes along with you?
No. Okay, so I'll answer the questions in reverse. The address is not tied to a phone, it's tied to the piece of land. And so if 10 phones can be in the same place, they will get the same code. With accuracy, on a normal phone on a normal smartphone, you have accuracy of, on average, about 6.8 meters. So that's for Snuko General. And then for things like drones and driverless cars and things like that, and with the technology like RTK, we can go down to plus or minus 25 centimeters. And so that allows us to get into fields like the mapping of potholes on roads, for example, or the mapping of, farms. So a lot of my competitors here could use our technology in their product. And the fact that the system works globally shows how scalable it is, right? So we've scaled, at least technology-wise. And, our partnership systems allows us to basically, so I'll take Nigeria, for example. We have a franchise going on in Nigeria. They own 60%, we own 40%, and they do all the work, and we can concentrate on making that technology more accurate as we go along.
One more question. How different is this addressing system from what Google has already built?
So Google has a system that is, Google really does maps, right? And so we are addressing the question of where am I on that map? Where is my grandmother on that map? And so it's not quite the same. And in terms of intellectual property, we have the earliest, patent citations in this space, ahead of Google and What3Words. So we came in November 2012. What3Words came out in April 2013. So there's a little bit of precedent there. We don't dwell on it because ultimately it's the best technology that went out. But yeah.
Sorry, just two very quick questions.
Okay.
Maybe on the routing side, what's different between the H3 grid of Uber that's global?
Sorry?
The H3 grid that Uber uses for all their routing, why would we not benefit or just leverage off of that?
Okay. So because we do everything offline, H3 requires an immense amount of computing power. Because we do everything offline, we've came up with our own system called Dyn. It's 43,000 times faster than the conventional methods. That comes at a cost. We are only 97% as accurate as the conventional method, and I think that's a good enough trade-off. So there's no point having a system like Uber's when huge parts of Africa are still not connected. So yeah, so that's how it's different.
Okay, and then in terms of the benchmarking for the routing, you said you're 120% more efficient.
Yeah.
Who's reliable for that road network that you're doing your routing off of? Have you only benchmarked Africa versus a very established country, for example?
Well, we haven't benchmarked, a very established country. We were limited to the resources we had at the time. We did against DHL, where we came up 19.6% better because DHL is already really good in the space. But when we benchmarked against mom and pop operations, and this actually happened at the beginning of COVID, where we did trials with companies that were delivering face masks to elderly people at home. So we had A and B testing, people using SNU code, and people just, doing it the traditional way. So in a way, we are more proud of what we did achieve against DHL, even though the numbers are better against, small mom and pop operations. Does that answer the question? Yep. Thank you.
Next up, we have Yolanda Kumalo from Yazi in South Africa.
Hi. In 2021, we did a clinical trial for epileptic children in Cape Town, South Africa, of 40 patients. We used wearable devices and Atom 5, which is a medical app, to monitor disease progression of patients. We produced 2 scientific papers from that clinical trial in terms of the feasibility, and we found that all the patients that had access to precision medicine regarding their devices showed improved patient outcomes. And however, those who live in low-income remote areas where there's lack of communication and energy infrastructure, they obviously could not access it, and therefore they struggled. Which is why we then developed low power and long range form of communication, which is a software algorithm, which allows for clinicians to monitor patients from anywhere in the world in terms of disease progression. It also leverages on ambient energy to eliminate the need for recharging wearable devices. This allows for uninterrupted disease monitoring of a patient. In addition, the algorithm also uses machine learning. This allows for the clinical team to allow for real-time insights for the clinical team, which enables for quick drug development. This particular study in terms of the solution is being developed at CPUT, which is part of my master's thesis, energy harvesting in LoRaWAN for space communication. We received funding from Aperito, which is DFI, Innovate UK, the Science and Innovation, and TIA, and INSITA. I think I've mentioned that already. So we are hoping to capture 1% of precision medicine within the South African market, which amounts to 9.5.2 million US dollars. Our application is also applicable in agriculture in terms of geospatial data analytics, which amounts to 1.7 billion within the African continent. And in terms of remote sensing services, geospatial data analytics, and remote sensing technologies, they are expected to grow globally regarding the numbers I have put there respectively. Our consortium consists of professionals who have a work experience of 145 years combined. They are coming from academia, healthcare, aviation, and the space. We also worked with the South African Medical Association, which also endorsed our technology, and we worked on them for this particular report. We also hired some interns for skills development. I'm also very active in events and programs that shape national and international policy. And we are asking for $750,000 US to refine the existing solution in terms of the precision medicine. And we will also be recruiting and also commercialization. Thank you.
Hello, thank you, and well done. I think this is a really interesting application. It's not clear to me how you are utilizing satellite remote data in what you're doing, or even if you're looking at the communication aspects from space, like what are the actual applications in terms of precision medicine?
Okay, I'm just gonna go, I wanted to use a slide to answer you. Okay, anyway, the particular solution, as I said, is energy harvesting in LoRaWAN technology as for space communication. So LoRaWAN, which is 4 sensors, they're now able to communicate to satellites, and which is basically LoRa to satellites. It then allows for remote sensing where you are in terms of like SWAM and Lacuna, which have satellites all over the world, which is for low Earth orbiting and basically for remote sensing in terms of the devices. So that particular technology enables for communication wherever in the world. I hope that's clear in terms of the software, like the devices, the technology is now there to enable that to happen.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Can you just explain who your target market is and what that revenue model would look like? How would you sell it to that target market?
Okay, Aperito right now is a drug developer, and they are basically we co-founded this project with them, and they are already within the market. So it's from that particular, we have a contract with them in terms of technology development. So that is our market, drug developers who are using remote sensing, because as I said, they cannot operate in rural areas, in low income spaces, because there is no internet. Like those devices cannot work in that space. So that is why we need this particular solution, like working with them. So it's just to help them expand their market. I hope that's is clear.
Thanks. It's Yolanda, right?
Yes.
Thank you for the presentation. Very interesting, and I think there's a big market for it potentially. I was wondering about the name Yazi. Have you thought about maybe protecting that? And that's the
Yes.
one question. Yes. So have you thought about that? And because it's quite a catchy name,
Yes,
is that
we
what you're
have
going to call
been-
the app as well?
Yes, we have been because I mean we are a new startup and we've just tried to change some names and branding, but we are thinking of doing that, and hopefully with this money we'll be able to actually pull through that.
Great. And then about the monitoring, and you mentioned machine learning as well, and how will you collect the data from the patients? Will they install the app on their
so
phones?
basically
or-
the wearable devices, they communicate, so because wearable devices, they don't have enough power to process the data, so that goes to the app. And that app then, processes the data, and that is how it's currently done. It's already being done within that team of operation in terms of machine learning. We are just adding to the existing technology. As I said, it's more in terms of being able to then access spaces that where that particular, many of the technologies that they use is only still, in influential areas, because obviously they're also from UK, but in Africa, many people still don't have access to internet.
Cool, thank you.
Let me ask two questions. The first one is the devices, are they monitoring any vital signs for the patient?
Yes, they monitor like temperature, blood pressure, all that is what exists right now in terms of monitoring. We're not changing what wearable devices, medical wearable devices are monitoring. We're just allowing it to exist, like to operate in spaces. Like if I'm using ambient energy, because right now if you're using a wearable device, you need to recharge it.
Yes.
Most of the time. So with the ambient energies, PowerWatch 2, I don't know if you know it, it's already there where if you use combined solar energy and THG, which is basically the use of your body heat, and you combine those two, you don't have to recharge your wearable device. So this is basically, because it's low power, it can allow you to then, not have to charge. It's basically, the technology can exist for other applications, but for us, this is our low-hanging fruit of saying that, because this is what can exist and does not need a lot of development time, at least where we are now. This is our low-hanging fruit and our springboard to the market.
Next up, we have Thierry Michel Marshall Changoli from Cosmolab from Benin.
Saubona. Hello. First of all, sorry for the unforeseen technical that we observed. The document was protected in order to avoid scamming, so that's it. So my name is Thierry Marshall Changoli from Benin Republic. So I'm CEO, founder and CEO at Cosmolab Hub, and really passionate to turn research development project into entrepreneurial since 3 decades now. I'm here to show you how we will use space technologies to solve the unseen and untouched, the most concentrated greenhouse gas in the atmosphere in situ, in order to remove the carbon to industrial purposes, industrial uses. But before going deeper into that, according to the OECD, 685 ppm per million of CO2 are emitted into the atmosphere and could reach by 2015. If nothing has changed, it will be, we are going into damage. And for that damage, you and I are emitted 1.3 metric ton of CO2 per day, per second, every day. So you can imagine how many CO2 we are emitting in the atmosphere. Our planet has compelling needs, and we need to change that paradigm. That's what Cosmolab Hub did. We designed a platform called SatCap CO2, Satellite Capture Carbon Dioxide, which is the worldwide counter platform of CO2 concentration trapped in the atmosphere for 3D visualization per country, per region, and globally. And then, for sure, there are a lot of information online about CO2 emissions, but I can challenge you to tell me how much of the accurate data of CO2 emitted just in South Africa are here at ground waste in the atmosphere. Can you imagine where those CO2 are located in the atmosphere? It's best to have information about it, but also it's best to have a technology to remove those CO2 from the atmosphere, the only way that we have to solve the climate change and global warming, our own planet. So this business is a two-side base, a B2B scenarios and cloud-based opportunities. So we offer satellite images about CO2 emissions and CH4, methane concentration in situ in the atmosphere to stakeholders, UN organizations, governments, in order to take accurate decisions at COPs, Conference of Parties, by example, that will help to solve climate injustice that we observe in the world towards low-emitted countries. And also we sell at the same time through our service insight information about CO2 emitted. Our total market addressable is about $300 million per year and 515K. Normally, since last year, we engaged discussion with a company, a US company who designed a device called ElectroSwing that we embed to our system, our platform, to remove those CO2 from the atmosphere. And we win a competition organized by ESA and CNS called Act in Space. I'm so fortunate and grateful for having 17 decades of people around me who are working since 2 years now without being paid, but committed to make this project a real life, from diverse background and international level, also with advisors beside us. We started, like I said, since 2021, from research development project based our own resources, and we here at C stage we're looking for $1.5 million in order to develop, to finish the prototype, to develop having patents and staffing. So to recap this, we sell high quality information about CO2 emitted in the atmosphere globally, per country, per region, per hours, at a real time. And we are in technology readiness level 6. You have teams, and we invest, we offer you the opportunity to invest $1.5 million that will help us to generate $25 million by 2025. So your seed investment is a fuel for us to win. Thank you so much, and let's keep touch.
Thank you very much, Thierry, for that presentation. I think I still have not understood how you're collecting the CO2 information in situ, because it looks like you have a cloud platform. So how is that? How are you ingesting the data? Where are you getting this data from?
Amazing. Thanks for that question. So you can see on the slide, we put the Copernicus. So Copernicus satellites have there's a lot of information about CO2 emitted in the atmosphere on Copernicus. So we use the API of Copernicus that we track. We load those data on a servers, and there is it's a process called ETL. So we use the ETL process. We download those data, transform them, and set it by, like I was saying, by hours, by region, etc., and then put it now on our platform via our servers, so that nobody who are using that platform can see at that place here in South Africa, in any locations where those greenhouse gases are concentrated, because we need that information before remove the CO2. So the CO2 will be, the system that I was talking about, electro-swing, will be embedded to a drone. So we can pilot the drone to the region, to the place where the CO2 is located, and then remove it. So it's like it's trapped. I don't know if you have the answer to your question, but the information that we use first is come from Copernicus. Copernicus is a free data access and non-paid. So we use Copernicus information to transform it and put it into our system.
Yeah, I think that part is very clear where you're using Copernicus data. So your app is just to translate and show people where the concentrations are, but currently there's no in situ data that you're actually ingesting into the system.
Can you come again with your question another way?
I'm trying to understand the in situ part.
Yes.
So basically what you're telling us is that you're translating the Copernicus data, which is freely available, but now putting that into places where people can be able to understand what this means as far as concentrations of CO2 and methane is concerned. But how do you put in the in situ data? Because again, the satellite data have their own accuracy issues, so you don't have any connection to what is actually happening on the ground as far as concentrations are concerned.
Yeah, okay, great. The CO2 side is not from Earth. The CO2 is naturally, no, not CO2, but in situ is unnaturally is there, because when CO2 or greenhouse gases are emitted, they are everywhere in the atmosphere. And that's already mean in situ, because we don't know the exact and the accurate positions of that. So they are everywhere around the globe. So satellite data, especially Copernicus, have information about that. We have those data about it. So now what we want to know, what we want to do here is every country, in each country, we have a device, that device with electro-swing, that will help people to know the exact positions where those greenhouse gases are concentrated in the atmosphere. Then they can pilot a drone embedded to the system to the place to remove the carbon. So hopefully you get it now. Yeah, that's it.
Just a very quick question. I think it's very good that you're tracking the CO2 in the atmosphere, because it's a big problem. Who will be your target market? And then just a side note that you should also consider protecting your brand. I think that's a good thing to do early on in the business. But who will be your client who will buy the service?
Yeah, great. Currently, something is going on that nobody or most of the people are not aware of it. When countries go to or went to conference of parties, there is a lot of negotiation there. So they need information data to convince other parties. And you know, carbon market is really tricky market. So they need information to to convince other parties to pay them the compensation of carbon. So to do that, those are people, those organizations, UNFCCC or governments need those informations to negotiate the price of the carbon they want, the compensation they did during the years, and how much they can sell it. That's why we think about, or we put in it blockchain channels that can use for transparency. So basically, to come back to wrap up, is organizations, UNN organizations, governments, non-privates who are devoted and committed to climate change, global warming, etc. So those are the ones who are going to pay our services on subscription or one-off fees. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We have next up Sotilma Farm Samba Tiob from Senegal. The presentation you'll see up is got English on it, but the pitch is going to be done in French. The judges have been given copies of the English version of it as well. There you go.
Hello everyone. My name is Sambo Choub. I come from Senegal. My English accent is not good. I going to pitch in French. Mesdames et messieurs, nous faisons de moins en moins attention à l'eau que nous avons à notre disposition et que malheureusement des millions de litres sont perdus. Et tout ceci à cause d'une mauvaise gestion de l'eau en agriculture. Et à côté de cela, on a aussi la dépendance pluviale. En Afrique de l'Ouest, beaucoup de pays dépendent de la pluie pour cultiver. Et avec le changement climatique qui entraîne une fluctuation de la pluviométrie, dépendre que de la pluviométrie pouvait être catastrophique. Eu égard à toutes ces considérations, des innovations doivent être faites pour faire face à ces défis. Et c'est là qu'intervient Sotilma. Sotilma, c'est un compteur d'eau intelligent qui permet aux agriculteurs de mieux gérer leur irrigation. C'est un compteur qui va permettre de réduire les dépenses, automatiser l'irrigation et faire une visualisation à temps réel. Sotilma a développé 3 modèles. Individuel modèle, le modèle pro et le modèle interconnecté. Le modèle individuel, c'est un compteur d'eau avec une application mobile qui va permettre aux agriculteurs de pouvoir gérer leur compteur via leurs applications mobiles, d'automatiser l'ouverture et la fermeture, de choisir la quantité d'eau qu'ils veulent utiliser. Ensuite, nous avons le modèle Pro. C'est un modèle qui va permettre aux agriculteurs de savoir les besoins en eau de leur sol, en même temps d'avoir la météorologie. C'est-à-dire que le compteur est capable de prendre des décisions pour gérer l'irrigation. Nous avons aussi un modèle interconnecté. Ce modèle est destiné aux gens qui ont plusieurs hectares, qui ont par exemple 100 hectares, 200 hectares, ainsi de suite. Nous avons comme cible les agriculteurs, les industriels, mais aussi les distributeurs d'eau. Actuellement, nous avons commencé à travailler sur des prototypes avec nos partenaires qui sont Orange Telecom Sénégal, qui nous aident à fournir les compteurs aux différents agriculteurs. Et nous allons passer par le réseau de télécommunications pour pouvoir gérer nos compteurs à distance. Nous avons comme partenaires, beaucoup de partenaires. Nous avons comme Orange, on a CIPSA, on a reçu aussi des trophées comme Western Africa, CIPSA, Filaha Innov, Peace Corp, ainsi de suite. Et dans notre équipe est composée de Adia Aminata, qui est notre communicant, Ibrahim Nying, qui est notre ingénieur, et moi qui suis Samba Choub, je suis ingénieur en système embarqué. Mesdames et messieurs, le cycle de l'eau et le cycle de la vie ne font que Sotilma est la solution. Thank you.
So I'm just going to help out with the translation. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur. Mon français n'était pas bien, donc je parle anglais. But I do understand a little bit, but it's hard for me to follow. So I'm going to ask some questions in English. It's very interesting, your system. the one thing that popped out to me is that it's very nice that it can be used offline. So that's, I think that's a very positive thing. And my question is, have you looked at perhaps protecting your water monitoring housing? Because that's something you can protect with a registered design. So that's something you can look at.
D'accord. Donc, il a dit que votre présentation est très intéressante. Donc, il a aussi aimé le fait que le système peut être utilisé sans Internet. Maintenant, sa question, est-ce que vous avez pensé à protéger, donc en termes de propriété intellectuelle, à protéger le design de votre modèle et le fonctionnement?
Oui, nous avons commencé à protéger et nous travaillons actuellement avec Orange Telecom Sénégal qui nous aide dans la certification de la technologie. Nous allons le certifier dans leur système.
Certifié en termes de brevet, protection. Okay, d'accord. Okay, so they are currently working on the IP, and one of their key partners is Orange from Senegal, and they are helping them with the IP process. Thank you.
Afternoon. Thank you very much for your presentation. I have two questions. The first one is, what is your ask? What is the next step in terms of the business? I haven't seen in here exactly how much you're looking for and what's the next phase of the business. And also then my second question is, what is that revenue model? You've presented 3 different prototypes. And what is that cost model for each of them?
D'accord. Donc pour la première question, donc dans votre présentation, elle n'a pas vu votre investment ask, c'est-à-dire combien vous demandez en termes d'investissement et quelle est l'étape suivante. Donc avec l'investissement, qu'est-ce que vous allez faire avec? Ça, c'est la première question. Maintenant, la deuxième question, vous avez présenté 3 différents produits. Mais ces 3 produits, quel est votre modèle de revenu? Donc, quel est le coût de ces produits et votre modèle de revenu? Donc, 2 questions.
Pour la première question, actuellement, nous travaillons avec Orange, principalement. C'est eux qui se chargent de tout ce qui est financement, besoins, tout ça. C'est eux qui s'en chargent. Nous, on est tous juste les startups qui portent le projet et c'est eux qui financent, en fait. Pour l'autre question, nous comptons gagner de l'argent en vendant des compteurs. Pour chaque modèle, il y a des différents types de compteurs. Et par exemple, le modèle Pro, c'est destiné aux agriculteurs qui font de l'agriculture de précision, qui vont utiliser des données satellitaires, en même temps les données du sol, pour optimiser l'irrigation.
Merci. D'accord, donc le premier... Okay, I got it. So for the first question, he's saying that they have the partnership with Orange. So Orange is the one that is financing them for now. Now, in terms of the product and the distribution, they are still working with Orange so to distribute the product because Orange has their network, telecom network across the country. So they will just follow that in terms of the distribution. But I think la dernière partie.
Les satellites.
Okay, so they have different products, and the Pro model is specifically for precision agriculture. So the farmers will be able to use the satellite data directly for using the Pro model. Yes. Okay, to optimize in terms of water assessment that they are using for the agriculture.
So in terms of testing the concept itself, are you finding that the farmers who are using these models, that they are better managing their water resources and cutting down on that particular cost?
Okay, please can you repeat the question? Thanks.
For the farmers who have been engaged as part of the concept, have they been able to use less water? So that means a cost reduction. So I'm trying to look at the possibility and that value addition that the farmer gets out of this.
Ok, thank you. Donc ici, elle parle de votre valeur ajoutée. Donc les fermiers ou bien les paysans qui ont déjà utilisé votre modèle, est-ce que ça leur a permis de considérablement réduire l'utilisation de leur quantité d'eau? Et est-ce que en matière de revenus, ça leur a permis d'économiser assez pour payer votre système, par exemple?
Oui, actuellement, dans notre phase pilote, parce que nous ne commençons pas à en vendre, nous travaillons avec en partenariat avec des agriculteurs. Et nous avons vu que leur utilisation a beaucoup diminué. Surtout avec le modèle Pro, où, par exemple, le compteur est capable de prendre des décisions tout en sachant, par exemple, s'il va pleuvoir, le compteur ne va pas s'arroser. S'il sait que le sol a besoin d'eau, le compteur va s'ouvrir. C'est-à-dire que la chose est automatique. Il va arroser selon les besoins du sol et s'il ne va pas pleuvoir.
Okay, so his answer is that they worked directly with those farmers, and with the Pro model, with the farmers that are using the Pro model, they were able to see a considerable reduction in terms of the water usage. So yeah, that was his answer. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the translation as well. With that, I think we come to the end of the pitching event. The judges, I believe, have tough decisions to make, and they're going to be retreating to the speakers' room to have the deliberations and tally the scores around this as well. The final winner will be announced tomorrow in the main auditorium. I think it is around 4 o'clock that it's going to be starting. So we look forward to seeing everybody there as well, to be able to find out who has been the winner of this really fascinating and innovative set of applications that are being developed using space-based technologies, whether it's in agriculture, using telecommunications, using navigation and positioning around water, medical, providing medical services, etc. around that as well. All that it's left for me to say is thank you to everybody. Thank you for staying the course. We run over time, but we also started late as well. So, but most importantly, thank you to the judges for asking the tough questions, but also to the participants who've come from, as you can see, from many different countries to participate in this challenge. Thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow.